I knew you were bringing it back. Bye, guys. Good night.
Niall.
She will be right back.
Okay, well we're blinging and like things are going off on her computer, so it's going to interrupt the interview.
Where did she go, Colleen?
Are you recording?
Did you start?
I did, but don't worry, we can cut out.
We can just start, and we'll just have to deal. Okay, I'll just start.
All right, Courtney, Power is about to head into its 3rd season. You're premiering just a few days from now. You guys must be doing something right for the show to have lasted this long. Where do you think the appeal for it comes from? Why does it struck a chord with audiences?
Well, I hope it's because of how universal the themes are that we have tried to, construct around Ghost and his journey. It's the American dream, obviously. It's all about that. It's all about his rags to riches story. And I think it's also about the fact that people want to see if you can change your future. If you can, your past, obviously you can't change, but can you redirect your path? So I think there's some universal stuff. I mean, obviously love triangles, people love those. And I think it's also our style. The style of the show is this high velocity, high impact style. And I think people go really crazy for that. That was something that I picked to do on purpose. Stars at that point had done Spartacus, and then they had this regime had sort of moved to a really lovely boss kind of Magic City, slower paced model, and I wasn't interested in doing anything slower paced. So I really kind of pushed that. So here we are.
Yeah, we'll talk about how you got involved with it. You're a TV veteran. You've done Good Wife, Bernie Mac Show, lots of other stuff. Talk about 50 Cent came to you with the idea and you further developed. Is that right?
It's not exactly. I was developing something on my own that was in like a similar area. And 50 and Mark Canton had an idea that they wanted to work on. And then CAA brought us all together, and the amalgamation of the two became Power.
I see. Okay. So talk about how the show has developed then over these last 2 seasons and then developed into the 3rd season.
Well, the show started, I think one of the things that we tried to do was really focus on the aspects of the storytelling that you could only tell in order. So the 1st season is really about the affair. It's about Ghost and Angela and them having that affair before either one of them knows the other person's true occupation. Because once those occupations were known, you were never going to be able to tell an affair story. It wasn't going to be about that anymore. So we were very slow to do that. The 1st season is really about those core characters. We didn't really introduce anyone new. It was really, Ghost, Tasha, Angela, Tommy, Sean, and then Kanan. And all the Kanan stuff we shot in 2 days at a prison in Nassau County. So even though it was in several episodes, it was actually this crazy thing where we had directors, we had the appropriate director for each episode come in. So we literally had like this director and then this director and this director. George Tillman came in and directed, then John David Coles came in, and then we were just running around like because we had very limited availability from 50. The 2nd season with Kanan getting out, 50 became a series regular. We started to expand the world, and then we really got to expand with the character Dre, played by Rotimi Akanosho. We got to spend more time with Holly, played by the amazing Lucy Walters. And we really started to dig deeper into Ghost's relationships with Lobos and his relationships, with Kanan, obviously. So I think that was, 1 and 2. And then 3 pushes it now to the next level because ostensibly Ghost has gotten everything that he wanted. Ha ha. The theme for season 3 is be careful what you wish for. And everybody's gotten what they wished for. Tasha's Be Careful What You Wish For starts actually in episode 9 of season 2 because Sean commits to running away with her. Well, that doesn't work out. So then, but you have Ghost, who's out at the top of season 3. He is out of the game. He's James St. Patrick. He's with Angela. You've got Tommy, who's now a kingpin in his own right. He's the distro, no longer working under Ghost. And you have Tasha, and you have Angela. Angela got Jamie. You know, he committed to not being Ghost for her. And you know, when you try to change a man, that always works out. Always. 100%. Men change easily for women. They commit to it and they stay that way. So fantastic. It's going to work out great. Everyone's going to get what they want. And every episode of season 3 is just people holding hands and kissing and skipping.
I'm glad to hear that. You know, one of the great things about this show, I think, is that it has this built-in tension to it. You know, that like a lot of great shows like The Sopranos or Breaking Bad or have, where the lead character is in a situation week by week where he can get caught, he can get killed, he can get like, you know, he can get tangled up further in this web. So talk about writing that tension into the show. You know what I mean? Like keeping that tension high episode to episode.
Well, what's great about my writer's room, and where I really have to give them credit, is that we always talk about Ghost and the no good, terrible, horrible, very bad season. So we always talk about what are the bad things that can happen. And Raphael Jackson Jr. and Damian Macedon, who are my supervising producers this coming year, but on season 3 were producers. They are really good at writing those episodes. They usually write the 5th episode of the year where everything bad happens all at once in one day. We really like those episodes, and those are kind of the model for the answer to your question, which is how do we keep that tension on Ghost? Well, Ghost is really on a high wire act, right? Because he's lying all the time, which creates jeopardy. Lies always create jeopardy. He's a criminal, which creates jeopardy. He's having an affair, which creates jeopardy. And what's nice is that his constant need to lie and perform criminal acts keeps him in jeopardy. So I don't have to create anything. I just have to let the avalanche of storytelling play. I always think of great storytelling as like lining up one of those elaborate domino things that you would see that would be on Madison Square Garden, you know, when we were kids. Like that whole idea that like everything should fall. Gary Lennon, who's one of my EPs, or he is my writing EP, my number 2 on the show, says things should be surprising yet inevitable. You know, so for an example, Sean's death is inevitable. He's sleeping with Tasha, right? He has disobeyed his biological father. He has come to kill his, surrogate father in Ghost at the end of 209. It's pretty inevitable that something bad's going to happen to him, but we hope it's surprising the way that it happens.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, it certainly is, So then, moving into season 3, I know you said everything is going to be all well and good, but I know you've got more surprises up your sleeve than that.
I'm lying.
And actually, when I just talked to Fiddy, and he said that when you guys talked about the show initially, you had he said that you could see all the way to season 5 with this, Well,
I think, as you know, the traditional version of pitching a TV show requires you to go into your pitch with 5 years. You should know through season 5. So that's actually what I did. I didn't pitch stars all of it because then they could just write it without me. But I did tell them that I have it and that, I've thought through. That doesn't mean that the show will only be 5 years long. It just means that that's the best version of giving your network a level of comfort with the fact that the show can continue. But there are certain things that I knew we were going to do that we already did. The very end of season 3 was actually something that I always wanted to do in terms of season 3. I'm just going to decline that, I guess. Okay. Anyway, so that is, I guess, what I would say in terms of how we structured and went forward with all of that.
Now, you received an Emmy nomination as one of the producers on The Good Wife a few years ago, and we're back in the middle of Emmy season. So talk about what that kind of recognition meant for you and for the whole team.
Wow. Well, I went to the Emmys twice as a nominee once. The first time I went to the Emmys, I was pregnant with my daughter. So I was enormous. And we had nosebleed seats. And that was the year that Archie Punjabi won. And I believe Juliana lost to Kira Sedgwick that year. But then I think she won maybe the next year.
I think that's right, yeah.
Yeah. So, it was an interesting thing. I will tell you a little story, quick story, which is we were all sitting in our seats, and they came right before they announced the category for Best Dramatic Series. They came and they asked us how to pronounce our last names. And they went through and they asked us all of those questions. All of us said how to pronounce our names. And at the time, I was married, and my last name was Agbo, which is not easy for people to pronounce. So they came and they asked us, and we were all looking at each other like, does that mean us? Does that mean us? And we were all so excited because we'd worked so hard. And then they said, and it goes to Mad Men. I think it was Mad Men. It was either Mad Men or Breaking Bad. I mean, it was always either Mad Men or Breaking Bad. I don't remember. But we were all so disappointed. And I remember that feeling. I remember that feeling really distinctly. That said, it's an honor to be nominated. It's a really big deal. And I think that it is something that I'll always be proud of, because I worked really hard at The Good Wife. I worked really hard. We all worked really hard to make that show what it was and what it is, or what it ended up being, I guess.
And so then with this show too, I mean, you guys have gotten like 6.9 million viewers every night or something like that. That's the number they kept telling me in the last interview. And
oh, wait, I think he's back.
Hi, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, you froze up for
Okay, great.
Here, I'll just cut that out. I'll re-ask that question. So with this show, you guys have got something like, what, 6.9 million viewers is the number I keep hearing, and it's steadily growing. So what does the approval of the audience mean for you guys?
Well, I just want people to enjoy it. I'm trying to make an entertainment. As much as I'm trying to make something that is fun for people and maybe says something political occasionally, and sometimes it says something about spirituality, and sometimes says something about good and evil. I'm trying to pack all those things into something that is really fun and sexy and violent and all those great things. So for me, the audience enjoying it is the best. I mean, it's the best. Because you can't plan for that. You can't make that happen. You don't do that by yourself. You do your best. You put it out there. I always say we leave everything on the field. And so if we get a win, that's great. I really hope that the audience loves it this season. I think we pushed the genre. I don't want to say push the genre. That sounds a little big. We've pushed the show. We've pushed the series per episode and tried to force it to do things it hadn't done before. I really want people to, I want to push their expectations. I really want to push their expectations, and I want them to feel like they don't exactly know what's coming next with Power. I think they should be surprised always.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations on the show, and it was a real pleasure talking with you. Thank you.
It was really nice to talk to you too. I'm sorry we froze there for a second. But,
that's fine. It happens all the time.
Nice talking to you. Take care. I always love talking to journalists. It's like my favorite thing. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well, I love talking to people like yourself. It's a joy for me. So.
All right. Well, cool. Love your Wolf on Wall Street poster.
Thank you. Thank you. I love it too.
All right. Well, we'll send you a Power poster so that you can.
Oh yeah. Please do. Yeah, I would love one.
All right. Well, take care. Bye.
You too. Have a great day. Bye.